Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. There we go. I found the button. Uh, yeah, so this was a big surprise to me. This is now the record for the longest amount of time that has passed from a cracking the cryptic solve of one of my puzzles being posted to me realizing it existed. Because I was looking at YouTube today and I saw a thumbnail from a puzzle that was posted solve of Mark yesterday, and was like, that grid looks like the puzzle I made. And then I looked at the title and I was all like, well, that's extra suspicious. And then it turned out it was my puzzle. So anyway, so we get to watch this, having me only noticed that this was done a little bit ago. So hopefully we'll have fun with this. The origin of this puzzle, as with many of my lower star rating puzzles, is that I have a intro to Sudoku setting and solving packet that I have been working on for a few years, and I set a bunch of puzzles for it in 6x6 and 9x9 sizes, and occasionally notice oh, hey, there's a gap where there's not a puzzle of this sort, or hey, I kind of want to cite something like this so I can use this as an example. So this puzzle is an example of a very clean, I mean, at least in my theory, in my opinion, very clean combination of Renbon and numbered rooms. And we'll talk about more of its exact origins as we get started, but let's see what Mark has to say.
Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic.
I'll do my best not to complain that zetamath was capitalized.
If you're watching this tonight as it comes out, you might want to go over and watch us streaming first. We're in the Blueprints house yet again, going in and getting confused by what we find there, and some 2,000 or 3,000 people join us on chat most times for some reason. Thank you so much to them. Anyway, if you're coming to this later, then you've missed that, but you could watch the VOD. You could also catch up with, what have we got on the channel? Friday's masterclass in cryptic crosswords that Simon did. You've got his solve with a collaboration with Beatrice, a competition winner. We'll get on to competitions in a second. We've got the Jane Street
I'm looking
puzzle,
at this worm by someone here in this thing that's got a 159 in it.
So loads going on the channel.
That is not mine.
Minute Cryptic and Wordle in a minute. Now, competition winner. Chance has occurred again to win a competition. Yesterday we posted Blobs' fantastic indexing puzzle pack as our patron reward for March to our Patreon site. Do join us there.
That is a very cute looking grid from Blobs there. I do love Blobs puzzles
and connections and gridogram and crossword videos that we put up. For $3 a month, you also get solutions to the prior month's puzzles, although we haven't done those for last month yet. We will get around to that at some point. And Patreon's a very good place to help us out. There's also the apps featuring Line Sudoku, puzzles by zetamath.
There are some puzzles by me in there.
Worms. There is one coming by zetamath.
Oh, it's not out yet.
And it's just got held up for a moment, probably because of something I haven't done. That should be soon. And do try them. They're great fun. Anyway, the first link under this puzzle is to this counting to 7.
My worm
zetamath.
is quite difficult by the end.
Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Along a pink line, we have a set of non-repeating consecutive digits in some order. So this could go 1, 3, 2, for instance. A clue outside the grid indicates the digit, i.e. that's the number shown, which has to be placed in the nth cell in the corresponding direction, where n is the digit placed in the first cell in that direction. So this 6 in row 2, if that was a 5, the 6 has to be placed in the 5th cell or numbered room, counting this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be a 6. That's how these clues work. And I get very confused by them. You probably don't. So you'll enjoy this puzzle more. I'll enjoy the puzzle. I won't enjoy my faffing around with it, which I'm sure is about to happen. Let's get cracking.
It is maybe worth noting, this video is only 28 minutes long, and we're already more than 3 minutes into it. So he certainly makes quick work of this puzzle. I should mention, for those who do not know, Renban is absolutely my favorite Sudoku constraint, along with black dots. So it's no surprise I went with this. I'm a somewhat famous general hater of indexing constraints that I generally tend not to like, but I do really like numbered rooms. Numbered rooms have definitely grown on me over time. Like, I've always thought they were pretty nice, but I think numbered rooms is like solidly now for me in like the tier immediately below the S tier constraints, which I guess would be like the A tier constraints. The fact that you're able to be so precise with numbered rooms clues is very appealing to me as a setter and a solver. It's not like 159 puzzles just sort of like puke information all over the grid in a haphazard way. In a way that numbered rooms are surgical in what they do. And I think part of my realization that I really liked numbered rooms was doing the numbered rooms killer as part of Skeptical Mario Sudoku Vania series. But I've done several of them that I have sort of come to really appreciate how nice a carefully put together numbered rooms puzzle can be, because each of the specific clues can be, again, sort of very precise.
So this arrangement of renbans in box 1 means that since there must be a 1 in the box, that must be on a renban containing 1, 2, 3. The 9 must be on a renban containing 9, 8, 7, and the other one must be 4, 5, 6. All very well and good.
So I will say, when I started this, I actually originally started this puzzle as my thinking, I'd like to have a slightly easier vanilla Renban puzzle in my packet, because I have a vanilla Renban puzzle, and it in fact is one that was solved by Simon called Royalty. I think Simon solved it, I don't know, a few months back. And so I started this with like, oh, maybe I could do this trick with the horizontal striping, and then sort of drew in these vertical stripes. So it was just these 5 clues. And then I tried to figure out like, what on earth do I do with the fact that I've like cleverly set that there's a 1 and a 9 in these cells, and I have no earthly idea what I'm supposed to do with it. And I left it on my screen for like 2 days and kept looking back at it and being like, I don't know what to do with it. And then at some point I was like, okay, what if I add an additional variant? What additional variant would let me make good use of a corner marked 1 in here? And then I thought of numbered rooms, and the rest is history, because this puzzle, I mean, it wasn't quick to set, but it was not slow to set by any means either.
These are interesting, actually, in column 2. Because the missing digits contain 1 from each of our entropic sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. So what can these be? I think none of these can have a 1 on, because then they'd be 1, 2, 3, and they'd clash with wherever the 1, 2, 3 was up here, and make the middle cell of it impossible.
So yeah, Playmaker mentions the math professor couldn't quite count to 8. Yeah, so the first clue I put in the grid was the 1. Or sorry, the first numbered rooms clue I put in the grid was the 1, followed immediately by the 2, because I noticed that the 2 worked very cutely with the 1. At which point I decided that I would try to make it so that I would just put in the numbered rooms clues in order. So the solve path is telegraphed by the numeric order, much like how most cryptographic puzzles are telegraphed by like you do A and then B and then C and then D. Except for the handful of setters who say that after you do your cryptographic puzzle, you're supposed to like randomize the letters or whatever. But here it's intended that the path is exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so the reason why I didn't get to 9 is that the puzzle was unique before I got to 9. And in fact, the place that I liked, after I had the 7 in the grid, I was able to prove there was nowhere I could put an 8 that would not ruin something that already existed in the puzzle. So I either had to like back way up. In fact, actually, I needed to back up to before the sixes, and I really liked it up to the sixes. And so instead of that, I just decided, okay, let's counting to seven. But yeah, so if someone wants to try and set a numbered rooms puzzle with some other constraint where you do 1 through 9 in order without sabotaging anything, that's good. Now, I do know that there are positions where you can sort of jump ahead if you're sort of prodigious enough. And I do know, actually, I read in the comments, because in the comments, someone was asking, why is this called counting to seven? And people are discussing it. And someone in the comments very wisely said, because you're supposed to use the clues exactly in the order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just Mark skipped ahead a bit at some point. So I know Mark doesn't exactly use them in that order.
So there is no 1 in those cells. So there's a 1 in one of these cells. The same is true about 9. If you created a 987 Renban vertically, it would clash with the horizontal one that must exist somewhere. And I think, therefore, the other digit in this trio must be 5 to allow these to be 2, 3, 4, and 6, 7, 8. It must come from the 4, 5, 6 Renban, wherever that sits.
So this is a very interesting way to think about this.
1, 5, 9 triple. This pair, one of them is 2, 3, 4.
I definitely did not
6,
think
7,
about
8.
this
Now, can I use
this
this
way.
2 numbered room clue? Well, it can't go in room 1 if that was a 1, because it would be a 1. It could go in.
My intended break-in here, if you're curious, was that almost exactly what Mark just did, but in this box, with the fact that because these are 1, 2, 3. Because one of these is 1, 2, 3, these can't have 1 on them, and so there's a 1 corner marked in one of these 3, so it makes that 4, 5, 6, which tells you which Renban this is.
Room 5, or it could go in room 9. And that is going to determine where the 2, 3, 4.
So, almost, David, it could be 2, 5, or 8, except that what Mark has said is that in this box, one of these is 1, 2, 3 across, one of them's 4, 5, 6 across, and one of them's 7, 8, 9 across. And because he's already got the 1 and the 9 being in these 3 cells, he can't use another 1, 2, 3 or another 7, 8, 9. So it has to be the 4, 5, 6. And then by some sort of mod 3 math, he's gotten that it has to be 5, because otherwise you don't have 2 length 3 Renbans.
Thingy sits, the 2, 3, 4 Renban sits. I didn't really look at this 1 because 1's a slightly confusing digit. Ooh, I was going to say 1 is the only digit I think you can have as a clue in a numbered room puzzle, which can allow a 1 to be in the first cell.
Yeah, that is an annoying thing
but
about
it doesn't
numbered
in
room
this case, because we now know the 1's in one of those 2 cells in the box. So whatever this digit is, and it could be 2, 3, 4. Well, it can't be 2 or 3, because that would put 1's here. So this digit is 4, 6, 7, or 8. And that's telling me that 1 is in one of those cells, which is not spectacularly helpful. However, if this is 8, this is the 987 Renban, and that's 7. If it's 7, this is 8. If this is 6, this is the 456 Renban, and if it's 4, the same. So
I can picture Simon just watching this and just sobbing into his pillow as Mark just pencil marks a random unclued cell in the grid with 4 candidates.
Possibilities, i.e. 4. And then I'm getting a bit stuck. I mean, I know this Renban is again going to have to not be an extreme or a totally middly Renban. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, 8, 9, because that would clash with.
Oh, this is going to get Mark where he's going.
But there are more options. If that was 2, 3, 4, I think this one could be 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8. If this was 2, 3, 4, so this was 6, 7, 8, then this could be 2, 3, 4, or 3, 4, 5. I reckon, if I'm juggling those numbers right in my head. So, where does that leave us?
I do think this break-in was
I don't really
like
know.
a star harder
These
than I
two
thought it was when I
sixes
made
looking
it.
across the grid.
Just having watched a few
The
people solve the
sixes
puzzle
that they
now.
refer to must be in different boxes, but they don't have to necessarily get into this box. I don't know what to do with that. I'm better with the Renbands than with the numbered rooms clues,
Well, I have good news for you, Mark.
but I've run out of things I understand about the Renbands, I think. No, hang on. Let's go back to this. I said,
There
yes,
we go.
one can't be on this Renban because it would be a 1, 2, 3 clashing with a 1, 2, 3 up here, or this one. And the same is true for 9. So 1 and 9 must now be in these cells here in this box. Does that mean there's also a 5 here and we've got roping? Oh, what it does mean is that the 1 being thrown from that cell is now either in box in numbered room 4 or 6. So that is a 4 or a 6.
Just
this
the grid,
must
you
be
mean,
a 5
Playmaker?
at the top.
I thought this puzzle was very Zeta E, but I can imagine the grid might not look very Zeta E. And I was thinking afterwards, like the aesthetic of this puzzle is not really great. His sort of I was like originally trying to go for all length 3 lines. And then I have one, like this length 4 line, and this is the only line that goes diagonal. But the aesthetic is in the fact that the clues go in the order. So I compromised on other aesthetic values to get this.
There's our first digit in the grid, surprisingly. And this is a 4, 5, 6 triple.
Now, will he or will he not remember to mark the
now
2
we know
that
that-
is indexed by the 5
No,
that
we
I
always
would
knew
immediately
this couldn't be a
forget?
4, 5, 6, Ren.
When I did my test solve of this, I forgot to mark where this digit went after I placed this digit, and I was like, how on earth does this even resolve? I swear this was unique. And then realized that I solved basically the entire puzzle without this.
There was something. Does 5 have to be in this group? This is either 2, 3, 4 or 6, 7, 8, so it doesn't have a 5.
Oh, this
If
is
it's
so
6,
me. This
7,
is so
8,
relatable.
This could be 3,
This is
4,
the
5,
maximally relatable
I think.
content.
Yeah, I don't think... If we definitely had 1, 5, 9 here, because we've got them here, we'd have to have them here, and then we'd be having this roping, braiding effect going down the columns. But I don't think we've necessarily got that yet. In fact, does 5 have to be on this one? If this was 6, 7, 8, could...
Clover definitely also tends to put break-ins in box 1. I think I even I don't know if I exactly started doing it because Clover talked about it, but definitely Clover talking about it definitely soothed any concerns I had of just putting something in box 1 putting the break-in in box 1 is the cheapest form of telegraphing available because it requires almost nothing. There are other forms of telegraphing that you can use, but why use the expensive one when you could use the cheap one? And so if it's something that you can't possibly shoehorn into box 1, then I will put it elsewhere. But I'd say most of the time is in box 1. Now I will say probably about a quarter of my students, having heard me say that I recommend usually putting the break-in in box 1, will put them in box 9. So there are many Zetalings, if you will, that have now started putting all break-ins in box 9. So
this be
do with
2,
that what you
3,
will.
4? I think it could. I think it could. No, it couldn't. Oh, that's quite interesting. Right.
Oh no.
This is either 2, 3, 4 or 6,
Oh no,
7,
what are
8.
we going to discover
Let's just
now?
postulate that it's 6, 7, 8 for now. And then I was thinking that this could be 2, 3, 4 or 3, 4, 5. But if this was 2, 3, 4...
Oh no. I mean, this
Where
is a
would
very
2
cool
and
thing he's
3
discovered
go
here.
in box 1? They'd have to go here, but they're meant to be on the same Renban. So that doesn't work. So this isn't 2, 3, 4. And the same would be true if that was 2, 3, 4. This can't be 6, 7, 8 because of 7 and 8, which are meant to be on the same Renban. So there is a 5 on this Renban, and we definitely don't have
this line is way more distracting than I thought it would be. Like it's one of those instances where it was like the clue I added after I had set up all of this nonsense, and then I sort of added this as a natural sort of follow-up to that. But I do agree, having watched several people solve the puzzle, that this is a very distracting line that I kind of wish I somehow had made like a lighter pink or something. Put some fog just there,
to the left
just
side,
over
and
those
the
3
5
cells
has
and
gone
nowhere
to
else.
the right side. So one of those is a 5. Now this is quite an extreme Renban. If it doesn't have a 5 on, and it doesn't have a 1 or a 9, oh, we knew this before. It was either 2, 3, 4 or 6, 7, 8. I'd just forgotten. So this one is either 3, 4, 5 or 5, 6, 7. This uses the other digit out of 4.
D-Web, this reminds me of the one time Clover asked me to like test a gas puzzle for her. And I somehow broke it 3 times and then solved it in like 40 minutes. It was like, oh no. And then funnily enough, somehow, despite there being absolutely nothing in it, to be clear, it was not at all the fault of Clover or the puzzle or anything like that. I just somehow screwed up. Like, it was like a Kropke. It was a vanilla Kropke puzzle. And then somehow when Mark was doing his speed run of it, he did the same thing I did and somehow managed to break the puzzle and have to start again or something. And it was like, Clover told me something to the effect of, well, at least you're in good company. But I definitely recall that. And I don't know if this is related or not, but I don't think I've been asked to test a gas puzzle since then.
And 6. So 4 and 6 can't be in these cells. One of them is in this Renban, and one of them is here.
I think it might have been D-Web.
The digit, so if that was 2, 3, 4, we've decided this is 5, 6, 7. If that's 5, sorry, if this is 6, 7, 8, that's 3, 4, 5. So the digit that goes with 1 or 9 here is a near extreme digit. It's 2 or 8. If it was 2, that's not a 2. Oh, we now know this is a 5. Sorry, that has made this a 2. I didn't even spot that happening. Right, so that now is 1, 8, 9. This is 2, 3, 4. Oh, doing all this theory.
He handled that emotionally much better than I would have, I will admit.
Rising.
I am impressed with his calm.
Idiot. That's not a 1 because of the numbered room up here. Right, 5, 6, 7 makes this a 4 at the top. That's a 6 in the corner. These are 6, 7, 8. We've got...
Are we now not also going to mark the 1 numbered rooms
6,
clue?
1, 8, 9, 7. These are from 2, 3, 4, 5. And they definitely
that one at least is not as relevant right away, because that's the one I missed
Now,
when I was doing the test solve.
Up here we have not 8. 8 is over this side. So 7 must be over this side on the same Renban. And then there's either 2 or 3. On one of the other Renbans we have a 2 or a 3. Right. These 6 clues in rows 2 and 3 are not looking at a 6 in box 1. So they're putting a 6 in a numbered room that is somewhere between numbered rooms 2, 3, 4 and 5. I know they're not putting a 6 into numbered room 6 because that would involve putting a 6 here and also there. Illegal. They're not putting a 6 into numbered room 1.
Illegal. I like
putting
the word.
a 1 there and filling that room. So these two are from 2, 3, 4 or 5. And one of them's putting a 6 in one of these 2 cells and one of them in one of these 2. I don't know if I can do much else.
Now, I admit the next step I intend is to center mark this cell and think about it. And I admit there was a lot of hesitation in setting this about whether it was too gross to expect someone to center mark this cell and think about what it could be, because it's not necessarily incredibly well telegraphed, which is also part of why there's like these 2 3s here that's hopefully helping someone feel comfortable with just randomly center marking this. I will say I don't think Mark is going to be bothered by the fact that he has to randomly center mark this cell.
Apart from that, these digits are from 1, 2, 3, 9. That's quite interesting for this one. Right, where are these 2 3s? Ah, they're sending them. They're on the same Renban, but they're sending them to different boxes, to numbered rooms in different boxes. Because you can't have 2 3s. These couldn't be 1 and 2 and well. Okay.
Yeah, I had sort of marked the 1 9 pair there when I was thinking about it, and was like, okay, how fair is this? How much is this sort of unmotivated? And it's like, I don't think there's anything else someone's going to be too tempted to think about, which is also part of why I thought it would have it would be okay. But it is like right on the bleeding edge of what I sort of am comfortable with as far as like steps that require center marking a cell.
Okay, let's say these couldn't be 8 and 9, because that would put 2 3s there and there, or there and there in the same box. So this pair must either be a 3 4 pair to straddle this line with 3s, or a 6 7 pair to straddle this line with 3s. Now, I don't think this can be a 6 7 pair, because what could that be on its Renban? So this has
Technically, what he said isn't quite true, because they could be 2 apart if this is in the middle. They can't be once you actually think about what's going on, but at least in principle, these could be 2 apart, and so they could straddle a box like there and there or something.
has to be a 3 4 pair. This digit has to be a 2. That's really pretty.
It's exactly
now we
the
don't
idea.
have 2 in those cells or 3 in these ones. Now we don't have 2 in these cells or 3 in these ones or 2 anymore.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, the thing he has marked just doesn't even work. Right. Okay. Yeah. So he will figure out quickly that this is something is going wrong. Also, hopefully, this 2 8 center mark with a 7 corner mark isn't going to break him. I mean, it can't break him too badly, given he's finished the puzzle in 15 minutes.
Rid of the corner markings. Sorry, I don't know. I obviously
Okay,
mislabeled some of the center markings there. Anyway, 3 and a 4. So, oh. No, that doesn't work. I've misunderstood something. Okay, I have misunderstood something. You can't use a 3 here. Right. I know what I've misunderstood. I thought that these 2 had to be consecutive digits, thus confining us to that area or that area for our 3s. They don't, because that could go in the middle of them. And since we can't put 6 7 here and tie up to that digit, or 3 4 here, because that involves a 3, we can't use a 3. So we're either sort of straddling that line with 2 apart, or with 2 apart there, but that would use a 3 again, so that's no good. Or we're straddling this line with a 6 and an 8, but that would need.
Yeah, the Mark had exactly the right idea and just went a little too far with it in his head. It's funny. My version of this was much bashier, I suppose, because I just said, "Can this be a 9?" No, because that would make these a 7 8, and that clearly violates this. And now this Renban needs to have a 3 in it, and it can only go there. Whereas Mark is being much more elegant about like the general theory of what things are allowed to go in these.
A 7 here, or a 7 and a 5. But that would need a 6 here. So we're not doing that. We are putting a 3 in one of these cells, yielding a 4 down here, and a 3 in one of these cells, yielding a 2 down here. And now we join those together with a 3. And first of all, I fix my center marking. Now that 3 comes out of those cells. That takes 2 out of those. That takes 3 out of these. It takes 3 and 2 out of these. And here we go. This is the correct version. And again, I get rid of all my corner marks because they've done their job. Now,
Oh yeah, the way the 2-4 pair is resolved.
Can't have threes in those two positions, or they'd be
I really liked that. That was
glorious.
That was the reason why I went with this length 4 Renbon, because I saw that would work, that I could do this trick of exactly what Mark is explaining, that I can either put the 3s here and here or here and here, but you can't have 2 of the 2 3s on the same Renbon. And I liked that so much that was what made me break my theme of all length 3 Renbon.
Zetamath setting. I mean, this is what humans can do. So now we know those numbered rim clues are a 2 and a 4. These can't have a 2 or a 3 on at all, this Renban. So it also can't have a 1 on. 1 in the box must be on this side. And this line must now have 6, 7, and 8. No, it could be 4, 5, 6, 7. It's got to have 6 and 7 on. But I don't really want to pencil mark that because it doesn't particularly help.
Yeah, this Renbon is stubbornly unhelpful until the very, very, very end of the puzzle, when it basically just solves itself. Its whole purpose is to place the 3s. And then it's not like it does nothing, but it's not going to be useful for a good long period of time.
Okay, there is going to be a 3 in one of these cells. 3, 3, 3. Also, one of these cells is going to contain a 3. Now, maybe I can think about these 2 4s in the same... Oh no, we don't have any more Renbans running along the perimeter like we did there. That was why that was incredibly helpful. But none of these cells can contain a 4. So one of these is going to be sending a 4 to room 9. And the other one is going to be keeping it close in room 2 or 3. So here we're selecting from 2, 3, 9. And one of them is a 9. And there is a 4 within these cells in room 2 or 3 from that side. And that's not 2 or 4 in this row. That's a 5. Now, where's the 9 in this row? Since we know there's a 9 in one of those positions, this must be a 9. These are now from 1, 6, 7, 8. They definitely include a 1. This can't be the 1, because that would put 5 in room 1,
So the intended step here that I don't think I've seen anyone quite latch onto right away is that for indexing nonsense reasons, you just can't put a 2 here, because a 2 in either of these cells breaks the 2, 4 on the opposite side. And I think everyone I've watched solve this has worked around it. So we'll see if Mark ends up saying it. That might have been one step more subtle than I should have put in my 2-ish star puzzle, although I'm convinced by watching people solve this and by have several people saying this that this is like in any sort of honest universe, this is probably a more of a 3-star puzzle. But let's be honest, in an LMD universe, there was no way LMD was ever going to vote this as a 3-star puzzle. So I knew that LMD would make this a 2-star puzzle, but maybe in some sort of just universe, it would it would have been 3 stars because of some of the that step, and some of the intro logic requires you to think about some stuff that maybe is easy because a lot of it is familiar, if it's familiar. But of course, part of the whole idea of difficulty is you should it shouldn't be how much have you seen this exact thing before?
There was already a 1. Now the 5 is in position 6, 7, or 8. And we can see that's projected straight onto the Renban.
It's a 3-star, 2-star puzzle.
But is it 3, 4, 5 Renban, which doesn't impact that? 4, 5, 6, which impacts it a little, or 5, 6, 7, which forces it to be an 8? Don't know yet is, I fear, the only possible answer. Oh, this is so clever. I love this stuff. Right, that can't be a 3 anymore. That's a 4. That's a 3. Now we're going to get a 3 in one of those positions.
Approachable puzzle for experts. I hope this isn't quite that far,
one is in room 6. I have
but
never
definitely
filled that
approachable
in.
for
There it
experts
goes.
is a very LMD style rating.
2 is in room 5. 6 is going to be in room 2, 3, 4, or 5.
But it was funny. I was actually considering submitting this to CTC and saying I think Mark would like this puzzle. So, but before I could do so, Mark did it. So that all worked out. But this does feel like a very Mark sort of puzzle.
Oh, and one of these is 2 or 3 down here as well. Okay, one of these is 2 or 3 because one of those 6s is going in this box. And one of these is 2 or 3. So that is a virtual pair for the column. So that
I love that both Mark and Nell have found a virtual pair as their way of handling this particular deduction, which is not at all what I intended. But the amount of virtual pairs that appear in zetamath puzzles as intended steps would absolutely make no one who knew my puzzles blush at the idea that this was a zetamath intended virtual pair. It just, in this case, wasn't. That was, that's like one step more technical than I'd want in something like this. But I like that it works because, well, I mean, virtual pairs and virtual triples are heart.
Can't be a 3. Does that help? No, not really. One of these being a 3 or one of these being a 3 means there's either a 4 here or a 6 here. That's not very interesting. 5 is on this Renban. That's what we know. 6 is in one of those cells, both from these 6s outside the grid and because of this.
Oh, you mean this diagonally Renban playmaker?
I don't quite know. Right, 4. One of them is going all the way to the back. In the other position at the back, we're going to get a 2.
There we go.
So one of these cells will fill with a 9, and that'll throw a 4 here, which will put a 2 here, which will stop the other of these cells being a 2. So that is specifically
okay,
a 9.
Mark got
pair.
it, and as
and now we said 3's in one of those cells by Sudoku. We now know it's in one of these 2 by whatever, by numbered rooms technology. So that is now 3 and 9 in that order. That sorts out the 1-9 pair.
A 2-star vibes puzzle that took
where
Simon an hour and a
go.
half.
3.
Oh no. Yeah, Simon is not going to vibe
Room
solve
3
something.
is there. Numbered room 9 is here. Now, these can't have a 3 in. One of the 6s is going in room 2, which is one of those 2. So it's going very conveniently onto the Renban with a 5 on it. And this digit can't be 6 anymore. So now the 5 is going into room 7 or 8. So that is now suddenly a 5-6 pair.
Adored this
so
interaction. That was
takes 5 out of these cells.
The use of that to resolve the sort of 6 pair made me very happy.
Pair, putting their 6s, one of them there and one of them into one of these cells. Now 6 has to appear on this Renban in this box, which is very unsurprising. But still
it is very unsurprising.
5 is looking into this box and not finding a home in any of those cells, so it's going to go there. Now one of these 3 is a
Playmaker says maybe a funny opinion, but numbered rooms is such a fun variant for forcing a smooth solve path. Yeah, I mean, I think numbered rooms clues are so completely useless by themselves, so they're like very weak clues, and weak clues tend to make for smooth solve paths because they tend to be very immediately discouraging if you look at it and it's not the thing you're supposed to look for. And so I agree. I think they tend to do a very good job at that.
5, I bet it's on the Renban, but I don't know that for sure. 6 is going to have to be in one of these 2 cells, so it's not there in row 9. 5 is in position 7 or 8. We've done those. Oh, 7 in this row. This is the only numbered room clue I haven't looked at all, actually. 7 is going to appear in a digit that is not 2, 4, 3, 9 or 1. So numbered room 5, 6, 8 or 9. I can discount, no, not 9, 5, 6 or 8. I can discount 7 because that would put another 7 in the row. I can discount 8 and 5 because they've already got occupants in their rooms. So that's a 6, putting a 7 here. Now 7 can't go on this renban in this box because it would repeat. So that pair has become a 1, 7 pair. And these are 5, 6, 8. And I dare say I'll find out about the order in due course. Hang on, that 1 sees this cell, 7 and 1. That can't be a 7. Now I've got a 6, 8 pair, and this is a 2.
I was very happy with the 7. The 7 did what it was
to
supposed
go
to do.
Here in box 9 and is 7 or 8. And that is going to start us off on this very last renban. Now it's not quite... I haven't quite finished this renban, which has got 5 or 6 on and therefore needs 4 or 7 here. Well, it can't have 7 because that's a 7, 8 pair I've just discovered. So in fact, that's filling in a bit more Sudoku for me. It's making this a 4.
Mark heard you, yeah.
In this column,
Amazing how that
1,
worked.
3 and 9. That's a naked single 9. The others are a 1, 3 pair. In this row, 6 and 7 are looking at that cell, which becomes a 5. And we're left with 2 and 8.
There was some horrible version of the end of this that I tried that involved finding a hidden 1, 3 pair in column 8, but I mercifully did not use that version.
8. I don't think we can put 2 on a renban which has 7 or 8 on. So I'm going to put 8 on it. That's going to have to be a 7 then. And I think that might sort out all of this. No, it doesn't. But 7 and 8 are on the renban. 6 is going to have to be on it, but we've got a 6 in one of those two cells. So that can't be the 6.
Mark got this the most
must
elegant
be the
possible
6.
way.
And that does a bit more Sudoku. This digit now is going to be 9 or 5, but it can't be 9. So that's 5. And that renban is beautifully complete.
Mark has the same doorbell
5
we
and
do,
2
I think.
by Sudoku go here. We can fill them in. That has to be a naked 7. This is 1 or 3. Let's get rid of the corner marks. Oh, there are some numbered rooms clues. That 8 has put a 5 definitely there. Oh, sorry. 5 definitely there.
That 8 really begs you to miss that numbered room step that resolves, in fact, the whole puzzle. Like, resolves the thing that you've had sort of flopping around from the beginning.
That puts a 6 definitely there, and that tells us which way around these go. 4, oh, well, so did that 6, sorry, very clearly. I just didn't notice. Right, 2 there. That is the digit that's going to sort out this into an 8, 9, 7 ren, but still in the wrong mode. 8, 9, 7 renban. This is a 2, 1, 3. It's flowing utterly beautifully, just what you expect from a zetamath puzzle. That digit is 1 or 3, so this is a 7, 9 pair. I think I've done all the numbered rooms clues. Do shout if I've missed one.
Yeah, the famous last words that I've said myself many times when doing a numbered rooms puzzle of, yeah, I've done all the numbered rooms clues, and then get stuck for 10 minutes until I realize, oh, wait, I hadn't done all the numbered rooms clues.
So it's Sudoku. 6 is looking at that cell. And these digits are all done. 7, 3, 2, 5, 6. 1, 4, 8, 9 left. We need a 4. It's got to be there. 8 is not allowed to be there, so 8's in one of those cells, and that sorts out this 9, 8 pair. Now that has to be 9. That's 8. This is 1. In this column, we've got a 3 and a 4. They're doable. This is a 1, 2, 7 triple. So 1, 7, 2, like that. This is a 5, 8, 9 triple. 5, 8, 9. That's
yeah.
A 7
Mark doing
9.
Sudoku
now
is amazing to watch.
1 and 3. What a beautiful puzzle that is. Counting to 7 by zetamath. And you see all the numbers from 1 to 7 were used as numbered rooms clues. I think that's why it's called that. But it's brilliant. And obviously, like any zetamath puzzle, has proved popular during this last half week it's been available. Super puzzle. And great fun to have a go at. So thank you very much if you watch us on the channel. Do leave a comment congratulating zetamath on this lovely puzzle. It's really elegant. And
Thank you,
I
Mark.
hope to see you again soon.
I'm glad I did not
maybe
quite
tomorrow
torture
on the
Mark with this
channel
as much as
or
the
on the Blueprint stream. Either way.
Oh no, I guess
Bye for
the
now.
most recent Mark solve was Angel, which went pretty well. The one before that, there was one step that I believe may have hurt Mark's soul a bit. That was from one of the first puzzles I set on stream back before I had sort of fully appreciated the amount that when I'm setting puzzles on stream and people shout out cool Sudoku deductions that I can do, I have to be like very, very careful to not take anything that turns out to be like too clever that I would never have seen in a million years. Yeah, Angel was difficult for Mark, but I think it was difficult in a very Mark-friendly way where like, I think Mark enjoys, like, center marking his way through things. But yeah, there was one point in the Angel solve, I think, where he missed something and worked around it in the a way that involved very sort of Mark deductions all the way around. But I don't think in a way that hurt his soul, at least. But yes, anyway, thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to everyone who solved this puzzle. I do think probably on Thursday, Tristan will solve it, because I don't think he's watching this, unless he is, in which case then he probably won't solve it on Thursday. But Tristan has not actually tested this one yet, so he might. But thank you to everyone. Happy Slay the Spire 2 release day to all who celebrate this Thursday. Yeah, the Angel required a decent amount of pencil marking, and so I guess that was why they gave that one to Mark instead of Simon. This puzzle, I think, could have gone either way. I think this is maybe faster than the traditional Simon puzzle. Like, I think they try to give Simon puzzles that will take him 90 minutes on average. So I think that might have been it, although I've definitely had puzzles of mine that I thought that Simon could do very quickly, but Simon seems to consistently get in the 1 hour range for puzzles, depending on, or without much regard for my perception of their difficulty. I'm sure he could have spent 90 minutes refusing to pencil mark a pencil marking puzzle. That is always true. I mean, also part of it is just like, it's really hard when you're solving to know, unless you know the setter very well, whether they intend you to pencil mark something. And then sometimes the setter has decided that they do want you to pencil mark something, even though they're a setter who usually doesn't want you to pencil mark things. But yeah, I mean, it took me a long time as a setter to really appreciate how bad it is for puzzles to like have like a random naked single in the middle of nowhere in an unclued cell. That it just seems like in some sense it feels like a fair step because it's the simplest possible deduction in a lot of ways, but it's also like completely horrible for the solver. Like in general, I would say if you're setting a puzzle and there's some cool naked single that you want to use, then you should throw a clue on it. I mean, preferably a clue that will use the value of the naked single, but at the very least, don't have your puzzle hinge upon a naked single or a hidden single in an unclued cell. I think the hidden single I most regret was in the anniversary puzzle. There was a hidden 4 in column 4 at some point in the middle of the puzzle that was not something I would do today. I'll put it that way. I remember watching Simon find and being like, maybe I should not have done this. But you know, these things happen. Just color the cells. Rule, pay no attention to the pink cells. Yeah, I've definitely contemplated. Like, I think it would be really cool if it were part of the vibe of the community to just have meaningless setter marks through the grid that were just there to help make the to make the thing the puzzle solvable. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely true. Like sometimes when solving puzzles, especially on stream, people will call out that some cell is a naked single, and I'll have no idea whether it's intended or not intended. Like I'll often use it because it could be intended, but I'll often make a comment about how like I wouldn't do that. But I try and be clear when I say like I wouldn't make a random naked single a step, that like I'm not implying or assuming that the setter intended me to see it, but I'm also not sure if the setter didn't intend me to see it, which puts me in a somewhat awkward spot in the terms of solving it. Like I try to present everyone's puzzle I'm solving in the best possible way, which means I try not to use deductions that I'm pretty sure aren't the intended deduction. But then that can make things look worse when like maybe it is the intended deduction, or maybe if I pencil marked it the right way it would be. You know, it's an art unto itself to try and present people's puzzles in a way where you try to like guess what they intended. Yeah, the absolute worst version actually is in like those LMD style Japanese sums puzzles, or the it's tricky because there's like Japanese sums, the puzzle genre, and then there's Japanese sums, the like Panthera version, which are slightly different. But in the LMD version, one of the worst possible deductions is you can have a cell that sees all 9 digits. And that means that the cell can't be anything, which can be huge in terms of the implications. And then so like that's the kind of step that's just like absolute agony to find for a solver, because you have to basically start center marking cells as 0 for like maybe there's nothing in it. But then it can seem perfectly fair to the setter. Yeah, David points out, yeah, a lot of the times chat will present something as that looks hideous, but actually if you break it into 3 separate steps, then all 3 steps are very nice. I do that a lot. I do a lot of rephrasing chat deductions as I think what chat is telling me is to corner mark this digit in this cell, or center mark this cell, or whatever, to try and sort of pull this apart into pieces. Because a lot of the times your more complicated deductions don't need to be 1 deduction. They can be 3 simple deductions. And it's a lot nicer than to say like, oh, if you put a 3 here, 6 steps later, it will break. Oh yeah, chat is definitely the devil on my shoulder when solving, of like, hey, you know, you could use this thing. It's a lot like when I see a uniqueness deduction, so I now know this thing has to be a T pentomino. Like that was the example the other day, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to use that. But then there's sort of the temptation of, well, knowing that, should I try and do a gross look ahead to argue that it's not a Y pentomino instead of a T pentomino? And like how far ahead do I have to look to argue that neither of these other things is possible? And then it's sort of like that's like one of the easiest ways to get baited into a really gross look ahead, is to sort of try and get around a uniqueness deduction by using a really gross look ahead instead, which is arguably not considerably better than that. With enough time, a million chatters on a million typewriters will solve every puzzle. Almost assuredly true. And yeah, there's Laura points out, like, sometimes it's delightful when someone who's solving a puzzle solves it in a way that's not what the setter intended. And like quite often what will happen in well-constructed puzzles is, even if you do something out of order or by making an unorthodox deduction or something the setter didn't intend, quite often you'll just naturally, by gravity, get pulled back to the intended path. Like, it's pretty rare that if you have a well-made puzzle and you make some really weird deduction first, that you end up sort of drawing yourself back, or that you end up sort of solving the whole puzzle in a completely different order. Yeah, there's definitely moments where there's some deduction where it's like, oh, that deduction playmaker's pointing out that deduction's so cool. I kind of want to put that in a puzzle on purpose now that I see the deduction that chat has. Yeah, the if I actually remembered anything from streams more than 10 minutes after the stream was over, I might well do that kind of thing. The sort of like, oh, well, that deduction was really cool, even if it wasn't intended here. All right. Well, thank you for joining me, everyone. As I said, good luck for people who will be playing Slay the Spire on release day on Thursday. I definitely will. Matt Laffey recommending I just rewatch all my old streams. Yeah, that would only take a little bit to watch all of my old streams at this point, right? What stream number are we on? I don't know off the top of my head what stream number we're on, but I know we're coming up on 500. So we're almost there. So yeah, so just something like 2,000 hours. That's like, I don't know, 100 days or something. It's kind of crazy how quickly that has gone up. I mean, I guess from your point of view, maybe it's not that quickly, but it feels quickly to me, I suppose. David says, sometimes I think I saw a cool deduction, but someone else points out just a Sudoku thing that sidesteps it. I mean, to be honest, often when I'm setting a puzzle, I have a cool step and then I realize that Sudoku avoids it. But the nice thing is when that happens, I can count on Simon to see the cool thing instead of the Sudoku thing. Like there was a step, I think it was in Zag. I think it's in Zag specifically, where there was an intended step that I realized ruled 3 out of a cell that was literally adjacent to a 3. And then when Simon solved it, Simon did it in exactly that way without noticing that the 3 was adjacent to the 3. And it was just miraculous, the sort of mind meld moment of like, I didn't see it and Simon didn't see it. Oh yeah, Playmaker referencing the olden days of 8-hour streams. I can't imagine how I used to do the 8-hour streams. That's I don't think I'll do those again. I don't know, maybe when I'm on sabbatical again in some amount of time, because the 8-hour streams are when I was on sabbatical, so it was pretty easy for me to do like 8 hours of stream. There was a puzzle I set where I added a clue because I thought the way the solver resolved it was hard to see. Yeah, there definitely I definitely am not above adding additional clues to try and make things better. Actually, Bounce is a puzzle of mine where I saw a lot of people getting stuck on a deduction, so I added a clue to make it better, and then it turned out I don't think the clue helped anyone. The closest was when KNT prolonged it like 3 hours. Like, oh, because I solved some like long KNT puzzle. That sounds possible. I don't think Simon likes any sort of puzzle where the rules aren't 100% unambiguously stated in the puzzle, Matt Laffey. So I don't think you're going to get any CTC testers who know Simon to submit a puzzle with that kind of thing. I am a little more flexible, although I will say like that if I'm not intended to be given all the rules, it better be very clear that I'm intended to not be given all the rules in some way. It's very tricky. It's a delicate line to walk in the world of logic puzzles, because there's definitely stuff where you can do it, like Elements of Sudoku, my like puzzle hunt, very deliberately contains no instructions other than, hey, there's no instructions, good luck. And lets you sort of figure it out. It's a very difficult thing. Like that's definitely the puzzle that I have that took the most playtesting, because every playtester would figure out 5 of the 6 things, but not the 6th. And it was a different 6th thing they didn't find out for like every tester. And so I ended up making it so that it was clear enough that I thought that most solvers would find most things. But every tester was then upset that I made the one thing that they got easier, but was happy that I made the thing they didn't get easier. And so it was sort of a like, well, I had this puzzle that for exactly one solver would be perfect in the original version, but then sort of ended up balancing it in this fashion. So you definitely have some of that. I think there is more room for LMD even has a tag for instructionless puzzles that basically no one in LMD uses. I think there's like a very small number of them. I think there's room for more instructionless puzzles in the world, but it's the kind of thing that needs to just be very aggressively tested. And I think basically you don't want to do too much in the huge valley between has complete instructions and instructionless. Uh, I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to decide, but like the witness kind of things is very nice. Uh, a puzzle app in the form of a puzzle hunt. I mean, basically like the witness. I mean that's like my like dream kind of thing is to have like more the witnessy kinds of things. Uh, Gap had an instruction this week. I didn't know that. Yeah, they definitely are very good at knowing what things they can and can't get away with. I should do some more Gap puzzles in Invitation to Puzzles. It's been a little bit, so I'm sure they have more puzzles that I have not done since they come out with one every day, and I haven't done them in a few months. It's nice to look through there. They at least are always good invitation puzzles made. By the way, speaking of just a random plea, if you set easier puzzles, like in the vicinity of like this puzzle that we just watched Mark do, that's totally fine. Like that difficulty, if you have puzzles in that range or easier, you can definitely submit them to Invitation to Puzzles. I will happily do them. Most of the puzzles I do on Invitation to Puzzles I find because no one submits puzzles to Invitation to Puzzles except Doomdiat, who I adore. Heart to Doomdiat. But if you have anything in that realm, or you want to set something, it's a very easy way to get a zetamath feature, is to set some stuff for Invitation to Puzzles, including pencil puzzles. So if you want to set an intro level Heiawake or any other sort of genre, by all means. You could do what Doomdiat, I think, does, which is to just research a pencil puzzle genre you've never heard of and then make me a puzzle with it. The instructionless week was harder. That doesn't surprise me. It's just like that just adds an extra level. Like everything is just harder when you're not quite sure what you're supposed to look at. Oh, and they had the instructions and spoiler tags. That is a genius idea. Is having the instructions and spoiler tags for people who are like, nah, that's not my thing. I do remember watching Clover solve my puzzle hunt and at some point realized that 0 was a digit in one of the puzzles, and having just an absolutely hilarious reaction after being like, because she at first was convinced she'd broken it, and then she said something to the effect of like, it's a 0, people, everybody calm down, it's a 0, people, or something to that effect that still sticks with me. Yeah, that would have been smart perhaps for my my puzzle hunt, David. I did not, I think of that. I don't know if LMD actually even supports spoiler tags. I do always consider doing another puzzle hunt that's like an actual puzzle hunt, as opposed to the like what Cracking the Cryptic calls puzzle hunts, but is actually just a series of puzzles where you copy some digits from one puzzle into the next, which doesn't feel like very much like a puzzle hunt to me. But it's always a challenge to convince myself that the idea is actually worth doing whenever I come up with something. Make people go outside. I mean, yeah, you can put text on backgrounds of the same color. Yeah, that works fine enough for. It doesn't feel professional, I'll admit, but it seems doable for that kind of thing. Like even just something like, here's a pack of 6 puzzles that all use the same cipher letters. But you have to look at the puzzles all together to get what the cipher letters are, like, I think is something that could be interesting. But the enter the answer from puzzle 1 to start puzzle 2, I don't find interesting. The one who I've seen who sets the most of these, Juggler sets a lot of things that I would consider true puzzle hunts. Uh, uh, you know how they do the animals based on solve time? Ah, I see. Instructionless Week had them as solved without anything extra, solved after looking at the clues, solved after looking at the rules. I see. I don't know. Somehow Clover's come up a lot, but I do definitely remember telling Clover it was the first time I'd ever gotten one hat on a gas puzzle, and Clover saying like, "Oh, nice humble brag," and me saying, "Oh, Clover, no, not that direction." Not I have always gotten two hats or whatever it was on the gas puzzles. It was although now like you can use the like assorted various tools to like get the gas puzzles faster than at the time. Alrighty, well, thank you everyone for hanging out. I'll tuck away now, but I'll see everyone in the near future, I hope. Tristan will be streaming on Thursday. I'll be streaming again on Sunday. Yeah, Dinosaur Land. Dinosaur Land is where it's at. Dinosaur Club forever. But whenever I see a Sudoku puzzle that's not shaped like I'd expect, it's from Juggler. Yeah, that Juggler definitely hits, I think, the right mix of like doing weird stuff, but then it being justified that the thing was weird. Ooh, loop puzzle. Oh, enjoy. I actually just yesterday, Playmaker, maybe a couple days ago, I did a J-Sums puzzle from some old Logic Masters India competition that was draw a loop through every cell that's not part of the Japanese sum, and it was very cool, and I kind of want to set one just because it was so fun. Every cell is a buy value when you're out of rules. I mean, I do think there's probably room for an interesting this puzzle has exactly two solutions puzzle to be made. I've not seen one. But although funnily enough, I have one puzzle that is a double arrow puzzle that has two given digits in it, and if you remove the given digits, I used a solver to find it has exactly two solutions, and the exactly two solutions look nothing alike. And I kind of imagine there being a really interesting puzzle that you could make that would be like that, but where it would be logically deducible rather than computer deducible, that there are exactly two solutions that look nothing alike. But I've never seen anything like it, and it would have to be done with a great deal of care. And not like, oh, there's exactly two solutions because there's a deadly pattern at the end and the solver, the setter didn't bother setting it. The gray cell is either odd or even. You choose. I did test a Secret Santa puzzle that was you could enter a different digit in this cell, and if you entered one digit in it, the puzzle had a unique solution that you could get without using uniqueness deductions, and if it was a different digit, then the puzzle would have a unique solution, but you would need uniqueness deductions to solve it. That was very cool. I liked that one a lot as an idea. I still like one of the absolute most memorable puzzles that I remember Simon solving like many years ago was AFK had, or Afraid Not, I guess I should say, had a puzzle that was unique, but that intended you to use uniqueness deductions, and you used like probably no fewer than 8, maybe more than that, unique rectangles through the process of solving it, and it sort of still blows my mind that that puzzle exists. So I think it's probably like not humanable without using those, but it's crazy that it's possible. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone who supports the channel, and we'll be back soon. Bye for now.